Kia ora, everybody, and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Wellington International Airport. I'm at the only terminal, and today I'm going to be flying Air New Zealand on board an ATR 72 from here in Wellington on a short 50-minute hop down to Christchurch, the biggest city on the South Island. Alright, so we're now here in the lovely terminal at Wellington Airport. This appears to be the Air New Zealand domestic check-in and bag drop. You only have the option of self-check-in and bag drop, but there are people around to help you if you need it. And there's also a manned bag drop desk if you have status with Star Alliance or you're travelling, well, there's no business class, so not business class. Anyways, I am also very excited about this flight, but I'm not sure if I can match that kid's excitement. Anyway, as I said, only the option of self-check-in, so let's go to one of these kiosks and check in. Check-in and bag drop has now been completed. I love the check-in here in New Zealand, well, at least with Air New Zealand domestically. It's really easy. It's just a standard self-checking kiosk, but it's automated, and it actually lets you check in and print your boarding pass here, unlike Qantas. And as for the bag drop, it's also really easy. It's completely automated, and well, it's actually not 100% automated, which is, in my opinion, a good thing because you have to scan the bag tag yourself. So it's a lot quicker than waiting for the machine to try and scan it and then half the time fail. So now let's head over through there, I guess, and find security and head airside. Wellington International Airport, as we know it today, opened in 1959. However, the same ground was used as Rongotai Airport from 1929 until 1947. Wellington International Airport is also known as the windiest airport in the world. The airport sees about 96 daily flights, serving 23 airports across 3 countries, with Auckland being the most served route and Air New Zealand having the most flights. Okay, airside here at Wellington International Airport. The domestic part, I haven't seen the international, so the domestic part at least is absolutely fabulous. It's a little bit chilly in here, I must say, but aside from that, it's just a beautiful open area, nice tarmac views, heaps of restaurants, and some really nice sculptures as well, or statues. Okay, so I just found out there actually is security, which is definitely a good thing, even though it's a little annoying to go through. It's just got a bit of a funny setup. Also, I'm not sure what would happen if you had gate 12 or 5 or whatever gate this is here, because it doesn't look like security. I don't know, but they seem to have some kind of thing going on. So that's definitely a relief. So the setup basically is most, if not all, cafes and shops are before you go through security in this beautiful big area here. This isn't our plane for today, but we'll be flying on one very similar to this ATR 72. Now just going to head over here and go through security towards our gate. Just got a notification on the Air New Zealand app. Lovely Air New Zealand app, by the way, and the whole website system. I'll explain more about that later, but it's great. But what isn't so great is I just got a notification saying that we're delayed 20 minutes. Not a big deal, but still not ideal nonetheless. Security check now completed. It's pretty automated, and there's not many people there, so there's only one of the 2 security things open. Okay, so now in the departures area of Wellington International, it's just the left wing of the departures. Here's an Air New Zealand A320-200. That's the other option on this route. Most of the food is back there, however there's some vending machines and also this little food store here, which looks like it's just getting ready to open.
Morning, Air New Zealand Flight 327 to Christchurch. Also invite customers seated in rows 14 to 29.
That's the flight that's supposed to leave 20 minutes later than ours, but since ours is delayed by 25 minutes, it's going to leave a little bit before. That one's operated by an Airbus A320 like this one.
Security screening to wait your boarding call at gate 14.
just made an announcement telling anyone that hasn't gone through security yet to go through security for our flight.
Delay of your service, we have moved all customers to a flight boarding now. If you are in the gate lounge, please make your way to gate 15 to uplift your new boarding pass. And please note that all bags have been transferred to your new flight. Once again, in New Zealand Flight 5331 to Christchurch, ongoing delay of your service. We have moved everyone to a flight boarding now from gate 15. Please make your way to gate 15 to...
Okay, so that's a bit confusing. I'm not sure what's going on. I think we've got to get a new boarding pass, so we might be boarding an A320. The A320 flight must have been quite empty because an A320 does have 180 seats, but when I looked at the seat map, our flight was almost 100% full. So can't have been too fully booked on the A320. I'm not sure what the situation is at the moment. You'll know in the title, but I'm not sure if I'm going to end up flying on the ATR or the A320 at the moment. Before the announcement came, I was about to give you some information about Air New Zealand. The airline was originally founded in 1940 under the name Tasman Empire Airways Limited, or TEAL. They changed their name in 1965 to Air New Zealand, and it's operated under that name since. Air New Zealand operates a wide range of aircraft, ranging from the Q300 all the way up to the Boeing 777. Their domestic fleet consists of a couple A321neos, which I have actually flown on. If that video isn't already out, stay tuned for that. If it is out, feel free to check it out. But yeah, the domestic fleet consists of the A320, the Q300, ATR 72-600, which is what I was meant to be flying on today. There's occasionally an A320neo flight, and the previously mentioned A321neos. The only two aircraft that operate this route, however, is the ATR and the A320ceo. Now time to board an Airbus A320-200. Hi.
Somebody else next to them. Right hand side of the aircraft as you get out. Welcome.
Thank you.
On right one.
Welcome on board the Air New Zealand A320-200. There's 171 seats in a 3-3 configuration. My seat for today is 28A.
If you happen to have a spare seat next to you, chances are it's not going to be spare in a couple of minutes.
Welcome on board an Air New Zealand Airbus A320-200. This is Zulu Kilo, Oscar X-Ray Alpha. It's a 2013 built Airbus A320-200. Now let's go through the seat features of 28A. I'll talk more about it later, but gosh, this is very unideal. Anyway, at least I managed to get a window. So the leg on this aircraft is 76 centimetres or 30 inches, which isn't too bad. It's not quite as much as what the ATR was meant to be. However, some of the seats at the front do have more legroom, which I do like the Air New Zealand display on their website. Up here you have a literature pocket, which includes a safety card, magazine and some seat bags. You've got a seat back pocket here for your personal items. Here's a tray table. You can pull it down like this. It's pretty clean, but you can pull it out and push it in this little cup slot, but it's not foldable. There is no coat hook or headrest. The seat's curved a little bit and the padding's actually not too bad, but these are slimline seats designed for domestic, so I wasn't really expecting that. And there's the overhead air vent. Also, seat width is 18 inches, which is better than 737s, but I'm not sure what it is compared to the ATR. All in all, very average but okay seat features for the Air New Zealand Airbus A320. Again, so we were just notified just as we were boarding. The gate agent seemed a little bit stressed, which fair enough. She was sort of. I'm very happy that she managed to get me a window. She could have been more friendly about it, and I was trying to figure out if it was possible to get transferred to a later flight, but yeah, our ATR flight ended up getting cancelled, so I have a feeling that very well may just be to fit in with this because it's cheaper for the airline. Might be wrong, but I'm not too sure. either way, it's not ideal. Well, they handled it all right. So yeah, again, not ideal. Anyways, that's the seat features for this aircraft. Oh, there's also 10 centimetres of recline, or about 2 inches.
First officer Bruce from the road, like Wellington 327, shortly bound for Christchurch. It's about to close the board door and get underway. We'll be taking off towards the south this morning. Climbing to a cruise altitude of 34,000 feet and the flight time down to Christchurch. Nice and quick at 35 minutes. Maybe just a few light bumps as we climb out of Wellington. Should be smooth after that. It's a nice day in the Garden City, although quite cold at -2. Clear skies and just a light southerly breeze. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the great care service.
Use it anytime. Everything must be switched to flight mode now. Although Wi-Fi is not available on this aircraft, you are welcome to use Bluetooth after selecting flight mode. Turn Bluetooth on. Flight and check all doors closed. Civil aviation rules require to comply with all crew instructions inside or aboard this aircraft. To prepare for takeoff, you must stow away your tray table. Release your children's fingers and toes well clear of moving parts. Ensure your seat back is upright, armrest lowered, and window shades are open. We're about to explain the safety procedures for this aircraft. Smoking and vaping is not allowed anywhere on this flight, including the lavatories. Charging e-cigarettes or vapes is also prohibited.
To our world, I'm going to tell you the story of Chiaki. Chiaki knew that we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We only borrow it from our children. So to show us how important it is to care for our beautiful country, Chiaki set out to visit the guardians of this world.
Kia ora and welcome aboard this Air New Zealand flight. Just like Tiaki, Air New Zealand has made a promise to help care for our people, places and culture. So we'll be joining him on this quest.
And helping to keep you safe on board this wakarererangi, canoe in the sky.
The tag, place it over your head, put the straps together and tighten. Only pull on the red tab to inflate after you've exited the aircraft. For more inflation, blow into the mouthpiece.
We've got life jackets for everyone, even in food. With Ararorangi Air New Zealand on this wakarererangi.
We invite all of you to join Tiaki's quest to care for the people, places and culture of Aotearoa.
Now time for our taxi to runway 16. By the way, in case you didn't know, Wellington has the nickname Windy Wellington. It's also the windiest city and therefore windiest airport in the world. Spoken to a couple of people here in Wellington. Yesterday was the coldest day they've had this year, but strangely they've had not a whole lot of wind recently, because it's meant, when you think, I was expecting a lot of wind here. There was a bit yesterday, but generally speaking the wind hasn't been too bad. using these drop-down overhead screens, Air New Zealand do some trivia on the screens throughout the flight. Let's have a quick flick through the Air New Zealand Inflight magazine. You can see there's just a whole bunch of, quite a few ads, just resorts and restaurants. There's a few different things, I'm not going to read all of it, but the cabin crew are now coming around to do the refreshment service. Here's a map with all the destinations Air New Zealand flies. They have a pretty solid network. Our route today takes us from Wellington to Christchurch. Yes, please. Would appear we've just levelled off at cruising altitude. No tea and coffee service like usual on today's flight. There were 3 different options. I covered them all in my, I think I'm going to put my previous Air New Zealand flight video out first, so you can check that out and see the rest of the options. But there was a cookie, a bliss bite, and this they call it a muesli bar. I guess it's a mini muesli bar. It's a cranberry with blackcurrant muesli bar. So that's pretty good, and just a cup of water. So this is definitely not the best from Air New Zealand, but it is they said 35-minute flight, so I guess they don't have time to do tea or coffee. I did hear them discussing whether to do it or not earlier. Just finished my muesli bar and water. The water was water, and the muesli bar was pretty good. Now I'm just going to have a very quick look at this last bit of the magazine. Here's their fleet. We're on board this one. And I was meant to be on board this ATR 72-600. Anyways, with that, I believe we actually just started our descent into Christchurch. The crew are just now coming around, but the classic Air New Zealand, I guess it's rock currently, whatever you want to call it. I've had them before, they're pretty solid. Experiencing a little bit of turbulence now, not much.
Great views of the mountains at the right hand side, definitely a good dumping of snow yesterday. So as you can see, it should be full flight. Thanks for flying with us. On behalf of myself, your captain, Simon Williams, great Wellington team left by entree. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Now as we continue our descent into Christchurch, I'm going to conclude today's trip report because I would like to get some nice approach footage with the beautiful mountains in the background. Apparently it snowed in Christchurch yesterday for the first time this year, and like about a year ago it snowed in Christchurch for the first time in over 50 years. Anyways, let's get on with the conclusion. My journey today started at Wellington International Airport. I found the check-in and bag drop process to be really good. I slightly prefer it to the system in Australia, where the bag scanners, while more automated, they often have issues trying to scan the barcode. Then after, for a few minutes, thinking that there wasn't any security, I found security, had something to eat and then went through. I just relaxed there for a few, like about 10-15 minutes, until the announcement came saying that we'd been transferred. I originally wasn't sure if this was an option or not, but I later figured out that it definitely was not an option because our other flight was cancelled and they wouldn't let us change it to a later one. So due to that, I'm not able to sit with my family on today's flight. It's not ideal, but it's alright. At least I managed to get a window seat. So that wasn't ideal. It was handled not too bad by Air New Zealand, though I feel like it might have been their decision to cancel the flight in the first place. I feel like it might have been optional. Could be wrong. Can I just say, beautiful views coming into most airports in New Zealand, seemingly including Christchurch. The gate staff could have been friendlier about it, but they managed to get me a window seat, which was nice. The crew on board have been pretty friendly, not amazingly friendly, but still very nice. And the onboard service was okay. It's what I'd expect from Air New Zealand. It's about a 35-40 minute flight today. So I do understand that they didn't really have time for tea and coffee. I feel like they could have done it if they really tried, but I do completely understand why they didn't. And now we're going to be landing in Christchurch not too long after my original flight was scheduled to land here. Looks like, yep, I was about to say looks like we should probably put our flaps down because the nose is quite high. There we go. Beautiful approach. Overall, I had a okay experience with Air New Zealand today. Again, cancellation wasn't ideal. I was looking forward to flying on the ATR, but it could be worse. At least they got us here safely and not too much later than at the original flight. The thing that sort of brings it down the most, I think, is the fact that I know how good Air New Zealand can be. Because I've flown them before. Check out my A321neo review. Their new A321neo is really pretty good. And when Air New Zealand's good, they are really, really fantastic. I also flew them last year in business class from Melbourne to Auckland, and that was also very good. So it's just a bit sad to see, even though it wasn't a bad experience today, it wasn't great, and I know that Air New Zealand often and can do better. So I'm hoping that this doesn't happen all the time, though I have noticed my ATR flight has been cancelled a few times in the past. So I have a feeling maybe it does happen off, like every once in a while. But as for the options on this route, it's just Jetstar or Air New Zealand, since Jetstar's the only other main operator in New Zealand. There's a couple of smaller ones like Sounds Air and Air Chatham's, but they don't operate flights between capital cities like Air New Zealand and Jetstar do. Jetstar starts from $45, while Air New Zealand starts from $59, and then it costs $20 for every bundle on top of the $59. So $79 for a bag as well, which is what I picked, and then for a slightly more flexible option, it's another $20, and for it to be fully flexible, it's another $20. On this route, I'd say it's worth paying the extra $14 or whatever to fly in New Zealand on top of Jetstar. However, I'm not sure it's worth paying much more than that, since it's a very short flight and Jetstar isn't horrible. With that pretty smooth landing, welcome to Christchurch. I do like the music, however, I'm a little afraid of getting copyright struck.
And a very warm welcome to a lovely day here in Christchurch. For your safety, you must remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. Also be careful when opening overhead lockers as items can fall out. It's now safe for transferring functions on your electronic device to be turned on. Before and your cabin crew today of Jenny, Phoebe, Nathan and myself, Andre, thanks for flying Air New Zealand on the Star Alliance network. Take care and we look forward to seeing you all again in the future. Mate, enjoy the rest of your day here in Christchurch.
It's currently -1 degrees. I'm not looking forward to getting outside, I'll be honest. One thing I definitely notice here in New Zealand is the people here are a lot more civilised when the seatbelt sign goes off. There's still quite a few people that get up, but here in Australia, as soon as the seatbelt sign goes off, half the plane at least gets up. Time to disembark through the rear air stairs in -1 degree weather. Okay, welcome to Christchurch. There is steam coming out of my mouth since it's -1. Okay, well, nice starry jet bridge here. I think now's a pretty good time to finish up today's video. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription if you enjoyed would be very much appreciated, but it's not necessary nor expected. It'll just help me out a little bit if you wouldn't mind doing so. Also, check out my website if you like at aviation763.com for information on upcoming flights and easier navigation to specific airlines trip reports. You can also check out my Instagram if you like at aviation763_, where I do live updates on today's flights and many others. Last but most certainly not least, thank you to all of my incredible Patreons who help to make these videos possible. Their support is so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them. Their names will be on screen now, so thank you so much to them. Once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one at Saturday at 5 PM Melbourne time.
A very warm welcome to a lovely day here in Christchurch. For your safety, you must remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is